request as a community to come through this committee or from the board, at Stoneybrook, then I would say, yeah, we'd be responsible for that. In any case, leave it at 1,000, and that will bring that total expenditure in that column down to 10,746. Okay? I'll make a notation of that. Landscape utility fees. We're a little under here. And the actual for the first 6 months was 12.6. We projected 12.5 because we had 25 for the whole year. It's not a big variation. I don't know if we want to change it or not. I believe that's a fixed amount. I don't think it goes up because it's contractual.
You're talking about the utility fees?
Yeah. It has to essentially do with the lights out in the streets, the street lights.
And we adjusted it for the FPO, the new lights for last year.
That's correct, yeah. And we did kick it up. The question is, do we want to kick it up again?
Well, isn't the technology going more to LED too, though? So
Yeah, but we're not there yet, though. We're stuck with these lights. That's a whole other issue. That's a whole other issue.
We'd still like to add a couple. They told us that they won't move the ones that are there.
I know.
But it would be nice to add, to install new ones. I think there's 4 or 5 of them.
install more new ones.
We never,
I
We
know,
never
it's
moved.
never-
We have
it's
some
never
dark
been-
spots, I
I
know.
know.
There's a couple of trees I wouldn't mind cutting down to eliminate some of that trouble too, but that's another story. You want to add $1,000 to it?
Yeah,
I would.
Let's go to 26.
Want to add
Yeah.
$1,000 to it?
yeah.
Yeah, we just spent that $1,000 we picked up. Just spent that.
I think we're going to spend more on landscaping.
Well, a lot of the landscaping budget's going to be sucked up by other things. You know, we'll see, we'll talk about that. Landscaping contractual services. I think we're pretty much spot on that. I don't know that we need to change that. I don't know if landscaping, you know, when does that contract come up? Landscaping, you know, when does that contract come up?
Not this year, fall. It'll be like
Is there a built-in price increase into it? Is there a built-in price increase into it? So at this point in time,
March of,
April?
2018 is
Time.
when.
April?
because of the fact that this is contractual, and unless we know factually that there is an increase, I would suggest we leave that alone for now. Okay? I would suggest we leave that alone. The landscape repairs. Nothing was spent in 2016. We got 3,000 for this year, and even though only 150 have been spent, we are spending money right now that I think should come out of that category, and that is new rewiring. We've probably seen the work going on along Pebblebrook. I don't remember what the cost for that was projected to be. But that should be coming out of that budget, I believe.
But that's landscaping repairs, that's not irrigation repairs.
Yeah, that's true.
That's landscaping repairs, that's not
Yeah.
irrigation repairs.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm printing more stuff. Steve just sent me an expenditure report.
Yeah.
So I'm printing that,
Okay.
okay?
And what's that, what period of time is that?
I said I thought
What's that, what period of time is that? April 30th. Okay. That could confuse the issue though, because you're comparing apples and oranges. That could confuse the issue though, because you're comparing apples and oranges. Yeah, that's convenient. I don't know if, that we really need to dwell on these numbers right now unless something's way out of whack. Dwell on these numbers right now unless something's way out of whack. Let's go back to what we do have. Let's go back to. So landscape repairs. I'm a little fuzzy on exactly what that is.
Dead flowers.
Yeah, but that's plant replacement below that. Yeah, but that's plant Replacement below that.
Confusing now.
More paper, here you go. That's expenditures to read.
Oh, maybe that's the irrigation. Oh, that's down below too.
We might have some of the things that are in there in April that are not listed here, that's correct. Check and see if there's anything more in irrigation.
In irrigation?
That or landscaping, either one.
Well, with the, well, year to date, we're at $2,800 for irrigation.
Repairs?
Um,
Yeah, that's here too, that's already here.
What about the bid they're gonna be, that they're talking about for the head? Is that gonna be, is that?
That's a
ours?
separate item, that's a separate special item, and it is ours, it would, no, I mean, let's say, I'll read it, it is ours, it would, no, I mean, let's say, I'll read it. They were supposed to come back with new bids, they've never done it.
Would that come out of the 404?
Should come out of the 004 fund, I think it should. I don't know how to make up a number for that. I
Because
really don't.
we're talking,
Because we don't have actual bids for it. I really don't know how to make up a number for actual bids for it.
we're not talking $3,000, we're talking
I know.
20 or 30 or 40.
Well, that one bid for both sides is $57,000.
But that really doesn't, in my opinion, and humble, and that doesn't really need to be done yet, it could be staged.
That's true.
The sidewalk side could be staged.
That's true.
Plan on converting over, the next 3 years.
Possibly identify one or two of the worst zones which are, tied into the same control valves and focus on that for now. That's not a bad idea. I just don't know what kind of a number we can put in there. I do have a question about the budget though. Can we, I do have a question. If need be, if the community can kick in money to cover it, we've done it before, sent money into the 004 fund from Stoneybrook just to get the advantages of passing it through. I don't know what to say about that. A question about that. If we were to, let's say, put a number in here, if we were to, let's say, can we pull it out before everything is etched in stone? Can we pull it out before everything is
You
etched
can
in stone?
reduce your budget.
But you can't increase it. That's what I'm saying.
What you wanna do is shoot high, cause then it can always be decreased.
Anybody have a suggestion? Because the one side, I guarantee you, is gonna be over 25 grand. But I don't know that we'll be doing that or phasing it or what, we may not even spend it. What's the drop dead date on reducing it? You have any idea?
Irrigation repairs, or what are we on?
August
When you
meeting?
set the budget, it's when the budget goes to the committee.
Any thoughts on that, anyone? Any thoughts on
You
that?
might do, you've got irrigation repairs in there now, it's 3,000.
Kick that up?
You might be like 13,000, because then you'd be able to do a set, you're talking about doing a couple test sections to make sure that it's really what we wanna do all the way up and down the length of.
So you're saying essentially add 10,000 to it?
Right.
So you're saying essentially
And
add
always
10,000?
take it back,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't wanna.
Can't go up. All right, any thoughts on that? Anybody?
I know what's going on. I mean, sooner or later, we're gonna have to repair them. We'll be saving money, we'll be saving water for the utilities. With that utility fee.
This is part of the problem, the irrigation, the way it is, that it's making that at certain times of the year, that concrete walk's so slippery and get moldy. On a different note, I gotta tell you, make a mental note of this, please, everybody. Next year, we don't wash the walk
Until after
until
the trees
after
or the-
late May.
How many times did I say that?
Well, it got done.
Did I say
It
that?
got done, so in any case, late May, put that in stone. We know, those trees are, that's nasty. Yeah.
Well, we haven't had any rain yet either.
Yeah, but
But,
still.
I have no problem going to 13, and then if the community wanted to kick in some, just to cover if we had to spend 20,000 for half the project.
In the first year or something, like I said, you can come back and revisit this in the following year. It doesn't have to be all done at one time. You can revisit this.
Press landscape to give us a doing this, but doing it in stages.
I have sent several emails. I haven't done it in months because they got frustrated. This is something that I brought up here and I brought up at a board and I've sent them emails, trying to remind them that they had promised us, a new bids, because they came to our one meeting at the HOA, and they presented those ridiculous numbers, and we said, please come back with half of that on one side of the community. I've never seen that happen. It hasn't. I don't know what to say about Mainscapes. There are issues here, and I know that probably even in Gateway, there may be issues. I'm not sure what's going on with the company, but there may be issues. I'd be a bit surprised if someday in the future it change. But then again, we don't know what's better out there. But, all right, so I'm gonna suggest we add 10 grand to that for now. If no one objects, I'll do that right now. Irrigation repairs. 13,000. Brings that up 10 for that category.
No, it's gonna bring it up 11,
How do you figure?
because we went to 26,000 on utility fees. For this category, right? You said?
Irrigation repairs.
Oh, just for irrigation repairs.
Just irrigation
Okay, when you said
repairs.
categories, I'm looking at,
No,
I'm
I'm
looking at the
talking
whole.
about irrigation
When you said
repairs
categories, I'm looking at, I'm looking at the whole.
Yeah, they've got the utility fees under landscape services. I'm not sure that's category. Hang on a second, you know what?
Or is that water?
That's utility fees for water. You're right. The street lighting is down below that. You are absolutely correct. Street lighting is down below. Okay, hold that thought. That's utilities fees. Okay, for water.
So maybe we can keep the utility fees at 25 if we are planning on getting less water heads. If we are planning on getting
It's a trade-off. It is a trade-off.
And you're not gonna do it all at once.
Yeah. Let's leave it alone for now. Like Margaret said, we can go down, can't go up.
Okay.
We can go down and revisit that when we have more, we know more about where we're headed with that. Plant replacements, actual in 2016 was 18. We budgeted in 2017 for 24 grand about. And while it shows nothing being spent in the first 6 months, we know that a boatload being spent very in the not too distant future. We're waiting for the rainy season to come. And that's an annual event. That happens every year. We always tend to lag and it takes on that look of not doing anything. Yeah, they're projecting. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But we're not in a position to change everything at one time. And some of the stuff comes back if it's trimmed, water, fertilizer. But the fact is that, I mean, we can spend $100,000, $150,000 back there. All right, so irrigation, everybody on the sport, 13 grand. Plant replacement program, do I have any suggestions there?
I'd leave it for now.
24.
We just did a lot of planning, I would
Yeah,
think.
it had, well, we approved it. It's not done yet.
You know, we just did a lot of,
Some of that was out of the last year's budget.
okay.
Some of that was out of the last year's budget. I would say full year, 2017, 24 grand about. I'd leave it alone.
Yeah.
I would leave it alone. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
No?
Yeah.
With that?
Yes.
No?
Yeah.
Anyone out there, or Margaret, you have any suggestions about that?
I agree.
Along with that thing, I have to bring up the comment, is that I did get an email from April today asking me about our status with PMI, and I was wondering, did we ever have our walk with them?
I haven't had the walk being said.
Okay. Okay. You might hear from her, so I told her to contact you. Street lighting services, the actual in 2016 was 32,398.
Landscape services is going up to 181 from 171. Because we added 1,000.
Okay.
And we
I
added
see what you're saying.
10,000.
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
we
yeah,
added
yeah.
1,000.
You're right.
So we added 10,000. It's going up to
Yep.
2,000.
And I'm sorry. Skipped over that little step right there. I'm sorry. Okay, streetlights. Actual for the previous year was 32,398, ending in 2016. We budgeted for 32. We're a little bit ahead of that right now. It looks like 32,8.
Our year to date is, almost $20,000. Our year to date is, almost 20. And this, I'm looking at the.
Budget for 32. Yeah, it was through April. That's an extra month in there. Yeah, it was through April.
Projected to be 33A.
Yeah, and I'm thinking 34 may be the good number. What do you think? 34 may be the good number. I know that there's a possibility if we do more polls, although the way things are going with FPL, and they're busy right now. There's construction going on all over this county. It's crazy out there right now. Just driving around today. In any case, anybody object kicking that up to 34 to be more realistic?
No.
Anybody? 34 okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
34 okay? In any case, anybody object? Road sidewalk maintenance and repair. Now, this actually, capital outlay, you see a big expenditure there, and we did kick money into that out of the HOA. And that's non-reoccurring, that was for the pavement on the paved sidewalk. The budget had been originally 5,000, so we far overseeded that, but it's not truly reflected in that respect. The budget for 5,000 for 2017, the actual so far shows nothing. I honestly do not know how much it would cost to seal that road. Does anybody have any ideas on that?
To seal the main road?
The main road, to
All the
do, not to
roads.
seal it like with the coating, but to at least get some thick tar or something in those tracks. Do we wanna throw a number in here or not?
I have no idea how much that would even cost. Or are we talking just Pebblebrook, or are we talking sidewalks too?
Right now, I'm talking sidewalks. Sidewalks to try to minimize the cracks.
The sidewalks or the road?
The road, I'm sorry, you're right.
The sidewalks or the road?
Here's the thing, those cracks exist and get bigger, water gets in under the road, that softens the road bank, and whenever anything drives over, especially the trucks coming and going, it just flexes it, and eventually that causes more cracks, and eventually chunks will come out.
One thing I want to ask you is, are you sure that the HOA ever reimbursed the CBD when we redid the soccer trail? Are you sure?
I thought we did, okay? In fact, we can ask probably right now and find out, and I'm pretty confident that we did. There was an outlay out of, if it wasn't capital improvements due to resub contributions, it was out of, surpluses. We took money out of surplus from the previous year, something like that. Could you ask?
It wasn't capital contributions.
It wasn't capital contributions?
It wasn't capital contributions. That's April.
I don't know if you asked April how about Diana, see if she recalls, and if not, then she has, and then you ask her. I seem to remember that being, because keep in mind, they're talking about have money tied up in reserves right now that were not paid. And I don't think we've been hearing about that, and the fact that we didn't reimburse them, we've been hearing about that.
I think we drained out the reserve, I don't think the HOA ever.
You think every nickel and dime came out of here? You know what, you might be right about that. Because we had about $90,000, if I remember correctly. Because we had about $90,000.
Because that's something we need to do.
Or maybe think you're right about that, Margaret. Okay? And I'm not sure we necessarily wanna go there at this time. Not sure. We can retain, we can possibly, if we need money for something else, let's deal with that way. Possibly, if we need money for something
We have to have at least 2 months of blood in the revenue reserve
in here.
for October and November. We're not doing anything for the final tax.
Well, we're not gonna,
That's the whole purpose of the revenue reserve.
understood. We have variance budget. We have variance budget. Well, we're not gonna. Understood. We have variance, we have variance, we have. You might be right. You might be right. If we're looking at the bottom line, excessive revenues over or under expenditures. Right now, we are reflecting that there was a shortfall. Looking at the bottom line, excessive revenues over or under expenditures. Right now, we are reflecting that there was a shortfall.
That's something that should have been taken care of.
Well, I am looking at the variation projected versus budget favorable, unfavorable, and that we are looking at a $34,000, if I'm reading this correctly, to exceed what the budget was in actual. To exceed what the budget was in actual. And we are looking at a $34,000, and we are looking at, if I'm reading this correctly, to exceed what the budget was in actual.
But it's gonna be more than that if you make your adjustments, but it's gonna be more than that.
Well, some of the money that went for the road, the improvement on the sidewalks, we did have surplus in budget there. We were going to reimburse some of it. I think it was in the realm of close to half. It was going to come out of Stoneybrook, which would probably get us pretty much close to what we need to be back to the 2 months requirement. We do, okay. Soon, okay. Everybody understand what we're talking about here? So, we may need to get that discussion on the hearing for Monday.
What we need to do is get the actual bill. What we need to do for that actual PMI and take care of it. Just request. Request go to the city.
Well, we could probably get it from April, can't we? And just take it back to us and take a look at, discuss that, and handle that. I'll talk to her when we're done here about that, okay? I'll talk to her when we're probably get That's something, yeah, they filled between the cracks. Forgot about
I
that.
feel like I missed something when I walked out.
What's that?
Is there anything when I walked out?
A little bit, I'll tell you later.
Okay.
A little bit. But yes, essentially that was the gist of what we're talking about. All right, where was I? Roadway surfaces, road sidewalk maintenance and repairs. I'm not sure what the actuals for 2795 are. I'm not sure what the actuals for the first 6 months. Anybody have any ideas on that one?
Yeah, remember we.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. We categorize road and sidewalk maintenance repairs together. You're right, that is, we actually borrowed that from Pelican, because that's the way they show it. We actually borrowed that from change a year or two ago. That's right. That's right. Because that was not on, that number was not on the trial run that I had. In fact, there was an issue there with, I was tapping into that $4,000.
And that bill was $27.95.
That's correct.
So we probably won't be incurring that next year.
No, that's a 4 or 5 year thing. No, that's
So you think we might be able to lower that then?
What else can come up? Don't forget, this is road and sidewalk maintenance. What else can come up? Let me put it this way. That particular category is the category that if we're gonna do something to the roads,
Yeah.
that's where we would put it.
And the
To the roads, that's where we would put it.
I wouldn't change it.
That particular category.
And are we doing the cleaning of the sidewalks twice a year now since? Are we doing the cleaning of the sidewalks
Yeah.
twice a year now since?
Yeah, actually, we are.
So
Yeah.
really, we should probably just leave that the same. What's,
Actually, we are. Hmm?
I wonder, do we need, if we're doing it twice, or do we need to up it, or do you think that shortfall of this not restriping it?
Yeah, actually, we
If we wanna-
Actually, to be honest
if
with
we
you,
wanna
as I
spend-
look at this, the 2795 probably should have come out of capital outlay.
Come out of where?
Capital outlay. Because that's on an annual note. That's a every several year event. The expenses that are annual probably should be in the road and sidewalk maintenance repairs.
Where's the pressure washing done on this? Did we not pay that yet?
We didn't probably get a bill done for it yet. It might, it's not in there?
It's not in here, no.
It may not have
The
been.
thing I see here is the gripple.
Yeah, 2795. I'm looking for suggestions or any ideas. And if you don't understand what we're talking about and what the issue here is, we've got $5,000 projected in the budget for, for capital outlay. And at this point in time, it doesn't look like we're gonna be spending that. We could possibly, be looking at that if need be, if we have to do, road repairs such as sealing. Everybody understand that? And maybe, leave that $5,000 number there, because maybe it won't be any more than that to go at
I
and,
think we
Sort of a
did.
contingency.
yeah, for that purpose, because I think it's something you got to go with. Now, as far as the road sidewalk maintenance and repairs, it's about $1,900 to do the pressure washing. We haven't received that yet. And I'm not sure where it was put last year, unless it was done after the beginning, before this budget started.
I'll get back to you before I leave, thank you.
So do you think this 2795, do you think that should have been in the capital
Well,
outlay?
if we're gonna use the capital outlay for fixing the road if we need it, that might not be a bad idea. I don't know if we got that 5,000 for the outlay, capital outlay. That might be a source of revenue, I think, if we just do the quick seal, repair of cracks. Leave that there.
Yes.
And the other monies for, we might be short on the road sidewalk maintenance and repairs.
Usually road sidewalk. If you've got 9,000 in there, that may cover the.
One way or the other. One way or the other. One way or the other.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Everybody understand what we're saying here?
Yeah,
Anybody have a problem with that?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna leave those two numbers in, alone then, okay? We'll leave the 4, we'll leave the 5. If we run short in the road sidewalk maintenance thing, we'll just tap into the capital outlay, and if need be, when we do the sealing, we'll use the capital outlay. Now, the next time, we probably do the power wash on that concrete sidewalk, it will probably be sometime in the fall at the end of the wet season. And by the time we do that, it may be into the next budget already anyway. We'll see. Public safety and services, gatehouse utilities. Public safety and services, gatehouse utilities. Budgeted for, let's see, the actual in 2016, 3438. We budgeted 4,500. Actuals were less than 2. We're projecting a positive there, of about $600. I would say leave it alone.
Unless you wanna go to 4,000.
Well, one of the problems there is that, gatehouse utilities, I think, is, electricity for several things. And if we're gonna be putting that flag in with lights on it,
Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna be an LED, but yeah, you're right, let's leave it.
Yeah.
That'll make up, see what it looks like.
and, also, some of the electricity we're using out there is probably on that Stoneybrook side. And I believe that, if I remember correctly, one of the requests to Scott was to, Scott is our team, was to look into the cost of actually putting LED lights on that light out there. Because we got the old fashioned, real hot, high energy.
Halogen.
whatever. And if you always notice, the left side, as you're coming north on Gateway, that side of the sign, that left one's always burnt out. It's always burnt out. And I've had the guys repair it several times over the years, and never lasts, it's always burnt out. So we probably gotta get those fixtures out of there and go with LEDs, and I think that would save us money all the way around. And the cost of that stuff has come down so significantly now that I'm sure that'll be worth it. I don't know if we wanna put that in here or put that into, I don't know if we wanna into that with us, but let's just see. Gatehouse repairs and maintenance, we've got $4,000 here, we haven't spent anything.
You skipped the security.
I know, I'm leaving that because that's, there'll be a little discussion on that. But I'm just thinking ahead that possibly, because back in 2016, because we did the repairs.
We did a lot of repairs.
Yeah, you know, I think the 4,000, we'll leave it alone, we can tap into that for any other repairs that come along, as well as changing those light fixtures. If you want to pay for that out of here, rather than pay for it out of the Stoneybrook budget.
We can probably lower that though. I think we can lower that 4,000 since we did do, I mean, the reason why we raised it last year is because we knew we had a new security company. And
Where are we gonna pay for the installation of lights on the flagpole? I know we're paying for the
That
flagpole out
can't
of
be
this.
that much. There's power there. I mean,
Well, I'm just saying, that
we're
you
talking
got the
a few
fixtures,
$100s.
and then you've got, you know, fixtures, sometimes charge a couple $100 just to get out there. But, you might be right. On the other hand, I'm just thinking that if we do change the fixtures out that shine up on the Stoneybrook sign, that could be a place for that money to come out of, and it could be also a buffer.
We just need, what, 4 lights?
4 new whole fixtures, yeah. I think the wiring out there is,
It's 220. It's
220,
220. No, I'm
240.
sorry, it's 120.
is it 120?
Yeah.
On those lights?
No, I'm sorry, it's 120.
Be careful. Those, I know I went to check out the bulbs
You
for
can
that.
burn yourself on those things.
Oh, but not only that, but I looked at it, and they removed like some of the lighting I used to have some of the gas stations, and they were 220.
I'd be surprised if they have 220 out there. So if it's got 110,
I mean, we'd be converting it down to 110.
yeah, if it was 110, my thing would be jump towards a transformer box, 300-watt transformer box, put in 3 LED, you know, up lightings on each side, and it's on a timer or on a photo light that comes on during the day, turns off in the morning.
And I agree with that.
And you're talking, just to do that, you're talking under 1,000. I just bought it.
Suppose we have other repairs. I know there were issues with I think we paid it out of the Stoneybrook budget issues. With the sliders, we fixed those sliders. We got a quote on replacing the doors, it was ridiculous, and we repaired them, as I remember. I'm pretty sure we paid for that out of Stoneybrook. I don't think it came out of here. And anything else that's inside there? I just like to have.
I'm just trying to make up with some of this.
I know,
things that
you
we've
like about
added.
raising taxes, I know. I know, you like about raising taxes, I know.
You know, the gates and all that kind of stuff should go into the.
It is.
Save on the taxes.
It is.
Yeah, we approved that before you came in.
Yeah, before you got here, we've already approved it here, and that's the way I handled it. If you recall, I did a proposal on where the money can come from last year, but now, right now, some of that money went away because I was taking $2,000 out of the, something up here, the road sidewalk maintenance or repairs, because nothing had showed in the trial. In any case, we're gonna run a nice surplus, I'm telling you right now, from last year in the security services contract. And if need be, we can take some more out of that to cover the shortfall if need be.
We're gonna run a surplus on the contract?
Yes. Yes, for last year, yes.
How do you figure that?
Okay. The 2016 actual was 146. The budget for 2017 was 157. Through the first 6 months, we only spent $70,161.
So when that contract comes up for raises and stuff,
We've already done that, and it's not that significant. It was a couple of grand. We've done that.
That was my next thing was gonna be is the raises, but you're right, we didn't give that much. I mean, it wasn't that much.
And it wasn't everybody. It's a couple of grand. It's a few grand maybe. My point is that we budgeted for last year. We're probably gonna spend, because some of that increase is gonna occur in this budget year. We're probably gonna spend about 144, 145 this year. We budgeted for 147. And in effect, there'll be in excess of $10,000 excess in that category. I'm pretty confident of that. And that could be a buffer also.
That would pay for your gates.
Well, some of it. So I've got other places, I did a whole thing on the breakdown. And did you guys get a copy of that? Where I actually had the breakdown on that, where the money can come from?
No.
Who's that? Who's handwriting that?
Yeah, that's my chicken scratch.
I didn't know it was that bad.
Oh, it is that bad, it's worse. You know, what happened is that at the last second, she gave me, here, put this on there for the notes so they knew what it was about, and I started writing, and I said, oh, I gotta say that, and I gotta say that, and kept going. And the thing was moving around, because I had something in my other hand as I'm writing. Nevertheless, let's just think about this. I guess what I'm asking is, I think we can probably add a few bucks back by reducing the contractual services for next year.
Went to 150.
That might be possible, but it also might be excessive. Let's just say that things do kick up $4 or $5 grand for the year. 150. Somewhere between 150 and 155 anyway. Anybody else have an opinion on that? What's that? Well, the hours are fixed. The hours are fixed, they don't change. It's not like, you know, we're adjusting over there.
Summer's coming up, and
Yeah, but
also
that doesn't impact
the gatehouse, you're right.
That's all us at the gatehouse. It's just X number of hours per week, at times a fixed salary, whatever we projected. And the increase was about 3-4%.
And the raise was only just Stan, right? Was the rest of them have
At
raises?
that point in time, yeah.
The rest of
There's
them
not, wasn't that many of them that get a raise. A couple.
There wasn't even that much of a raise.
No, a couple will phase in on time. It was about 3-4% as I recall. It was about 3-4%.
You live on that side.
I'm not gonna argue with that on
Are you
that.
looking at the May, or the March, or the April? The May. April. Or the March?
We gave them 65 cents an hour was the raise. 65 cents an hour.
It's not even in here, is it?
What's that?
It's not even in here, is it?
What's that?
The actual expenditure report.
I gotta tell you, just doing the math in my head and the possibility of another raise for next year in that next 2018 fiscal year, 150 might be low. It might have to go higher than that. It might have to be around 154, 155. It might have to be around 154, 155.
Go 154.
Which is what the actual was for the previous year. Which is what the actual. Let me think.
Well, leave it the way it is.
140. No, we're trying to recover some money to not have a tax increase by too high. 40 plus 6%. I think we can go 152. Should work. We can go 152.
Shave off $5,000.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like 152,447.
Well, don't forget, the budget for 2017 was 165. It was a big number. Because we were, at that point in time, we're looking at the previous company's contract.
It's how much? What?
The budget for 2017 was 165.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, 157, I'm looking at the total, I'm sorry, I lost track there. Oh, 157, I'm looking at the 157. Pick up $5,000 is correct. How about 152.5, how does that sound? How about 152? 157, I'm looking at the total. I'm thinking about if we run in the, let's say, it's 70 per right now, 71, 7,200, 70,200. That'd be 140,400 for a 12-year period. In the second half of this year, it's gonna kick up. So next year, if we add on to, let's say, 5% onto that, that's another $7,000. It gives us some cushion just in case.
So you're saying 152.5?
Yeah,
I'm fine with that,
yeah.
if your numbers are correct.
Well, if there's 70,176, which corresponds to what I've been approving, so the monthly payouts, is right, yeah. Because if you look at, it's projecting, we got $87,000 to use in the second half. and that's-
Right.
We're not gonna do that. So there'll be cushion rolling over, there'll be cash rolling over, surplus from this calendar year into next. So let's put 152.5, which is a decrease of, $5,053. That's right. That's right. I'm sorry, actually, it's not, it's it's the other way around, 5,000. I'm looking at 157,447, which is what it was for last year. And we're going to 152.5, which is a reduction of 4,000 and 4,050. Yeah.
Comes to 160.
So if we're leaving the gatehouse at 4,500, correct? Gatehouse utilities?
Yeah, I said lower it to 4, but.
Anybody else have an opinion on that?
I said lower it to 4.
We could probably do.
Anybody
four.
else have an opinion on that?
We could probably. We budget for 45, we use 1944. Tell you, one of the things,
But you're gonna have more
What's that?
lights. You'll have more lights out there.
yeah, but when I see utilities, I'm not sure they're talking lights anymore. I'm thinking, are they talking water or are they talking electricity? Yeah, that's right. FBL, you
Well,
think?
there's a toilet in there too, so it's gotta be
But it's not gonna use
water.
that much.
Yeah, water, I know, that'd be tremendous. That's all electricity, too. I guess the light fixtures and the canopies and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, but think of what a house is though.
computers,
My house probably is $4,000 a year.
computers.
My house probably is $4,000 a year.
Could be lumped together.
You're right about that, but I think those lights being on all night long on the canopies, that sucks up a lot of electricity. Like, the lights are mega watts. Like, let's around the road and change them over to
Maybe that's
LEDs.
something we should start looking at changing all the
What's that? And the AC we talked about.
Yeah, but the AC is just, that's a small.
It's irrigation, water, and a piano.
It is all tied together? Let's leave that alone then. It is all tied together. All right. And the guardhouse repairs and maintenance, we've got 4, we're not using anything, but we can use that as, to do certain things such as change out some of those fixtures. Such as out by the sign.
And if the HOA doesn't need to replace the sliders.
I think they were fixed. I gotta tell you, sliders are fixable, they really are. Unless some kind of damage was done to the frame. And I know guys that will fix that stuff reasonably for a few $100 if need be. All right, so if you leave that alone, what do you got there, Margaret, on your screen that the whole category for public safety services just drops down to?
161.
161, oh yeah, I see that, yeah, pretty obvious, 161. Okay. The reduction of 49. That's, yes, she is. Well, I figured your software over there is doing the instantaneous. Well, I figured your other fees and charges. Miscellaneous collection fees. We budgeted for 1,010.
I have no idea what that's
Or
for.
actually, that was actual from the previous year, and that could have been a coding issue that we may have changed how that was categorized, because we didn't budget for it in the next year, and I don't see any actual, so that might have just gone away. Now, we're also, we're gonna have reserve, which is gonna generate another 10,000 cushion for, make it a little bit easier for us to meet our requirements for the 2-month reserve that allows us to flow through that period of time. Does everyone understand what she's talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
For what, for the reserve?
Yeah, for the reserve, 2 months, because between billing and actually the end of the budget, it takes a couple months to actually get money in to start paying the bills again, so that covers that gap right there. And we did agree to do that some years ago. So we picked up there, that went down there, that's a washout, up 10 there, up 2 there. 11, that's up 13. And down 49.47. Down 49.47. I'm just going through the categories, the net ups and downs, and what the changes look like they're gonna come out to. Ups and downs, and what the changes look like they're gonna come out to. Looks like we're gonna need to come up with about $8,050. Anybody else do that calculation?
What was it, 8,000 what?
53.
What was it, 8,000 what?
53.
That we need.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be an increase of so it's gonna be $10.35. So we'd be at 982 for the CDD tax. 982 for the CDD.
Plus whatever what's already locked in on the increase, which is what, about $65?
60 for the trim notice. It was $67 for the trim notice. So $972 plus. What did I say? 10 what?
1030 something.
Okay, so, and 67, so 1,049. And 67, so 1,049.
It's gonna go over big. Anybody else verify that number yet? Margaret, you got a number there for me? Net change? Net change?
If you have a phone, you have a calculator.
That's true.
Actually, you know what? I think I might have made $1,000 mistake here. Because I double counted this one up 1,000. Because I canceled it against that. It should be up 10. Up 2 is up 12. Less the 49. Yeah, it might be 7,053. It might be 7,053.
Let's read the numbers down on the budget. So we've got, for expenditures, 10,746. Huh?
Yeah, that's a $1,000 drop.
Huh?
Yeah, that's a $1,000.
Oh, landscaping services, 181,708. 181,708. Street lighting services, 34,000. 34,000. Nothing's changed on roadways. Public safety services, 161,000. And nothing's changed on other fees or charges. Nothing's changed on other fees or
So we got
charges.
a plus
$387,454.
Say again?
$387,454. $387,454.
You didn't add the 10,000 for the reserve.
That 12,000.
Oh, you know what? I didn't add it. I didn't add any of the changes. I'm sorry. Oh, you know what? I didn't add it. I didn't add any
In
of
the
the
top
changes.
section,
I'm sorry.
down one,
I didn't add the 9,000 for the
utilities.
For the roadways.
Utilities is up one, so that sort of cancels out. We added 10 to the irrigation repairs. So that's a plus 10 right there.
I've got 406,454.
I do too.
Okay. 6,454.
That's 7,053 up.
7,000,
53 up.
454.
So we gotta cover that. Do another recalculation, divide that, that's less than $10. $9 and change.
Am I doing by 777 or 750? 780?
7,053 divided by 777.
No, because you collect taxes on that vacant property.
Good point.
So it'd be 778.
Yeah, we pay that ourselves.
It would be $9. It would be $9.07. It would be $9. Round up. Plus the $67 trim, and I believe it's $972 is what it currently is now, because since we're in a CDD, I have to put that amount on a contract.
Yeah. Sounds right, though.
This is say $10. You're still looking at $1049 or $1,049.
But that's one of the reasons why our dues are so cheap.
And then we're going to be doing.
Add another 200.
I was gonna say then we're gonna add another $200 for lake frontage. That's $200 per year for 20 years.
That's, I
I thought
think,
this does-
that's a worst case scenario, I think.
I don't know, I had heard $50.
Well, that's, no, 67 is already in there, it's already baked in. The thing about the 20 million, and I think that Ed Tinkle made a good case on that, is that the cost, we can apply for it. All the paperwork and legal fees are the same regardless, once you get over a certain dollar amount, how much you're applying for. So rather than come back and have to do it again later and incurring all those fees, let's ask for everything, worst case scenario now, and there's no obligation to have to take the money. We can actually, I'm speaking for them, but
So this
they can decide not to borrow the full 20, am I correct?
So this bond could actually be lowered.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're, like she said, you can't go up, but you can go down.
Take a home equity loan.
And everybody's home in the community. Any comments on what we just talked about here? Are we comfortable with that?
I think we can be, because if it goes up $10 next year, I know it's not a lot, but maybe once next year, I think we can maybe get it back lowered again.
Let's put it this way, I think that we get lost in, with $10, our $10 gets lost in the crowd here about everything else that's going on here.
That's true. But what's gonna jump is when they see that $67.
Yeah.
And they wonder why.
Yeah, well, that's, the 67 for the most part for the 001 budget, is that lake issues or is that other things going up too?
I'm sorry.
The 67 that's already factored in, is that some lake issues there too, or is that just all budget?
That's, the 65 or what we had done was all like, that was like,
So it's actually gonna start, so it's actually gonna cost the community $267.
In the first year, if they do it that way, yeah.
no, the 65 was last year, where you're already paying.
Okay.
Part of that you are already paying, it was already put in the last year.
But we won't have to pay, we were not gonna be paying in 2018.
2018, we're talking about $200 then, not $67, is that correct?
No, because we won't be borrowing $20 million. This is a project over many years. It's gonna be graduated in, how much you'll be paying, but we have to tell you what the most is you might have to pay.
Okay.
So next year, we don't know what the number is, it just can't exceed $200, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But it is gonna take us a while to get that many lake banks done.
I
I mean,
know.
this is, and not all of them need as much as the initial.
The worst cases were first, I know, or the firms that came first.
I guess I was gonna have to not go
We'll
out
just
to dinner
save all
one
that
day.
extra money for the Stoneybrook Lake Banks, that's all.
Especially between Jewel Stone and Pebblebrook, or
Absolutely.
Pebblestone.
Anybody have any other comments on this, or are we in agreement then, these numbers are acceptable?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do you have all those numbers? Do you want to repeat them to us, Margaret? What you
I've got them, I'm just trying to do
So our
the
taxes
revenues.
should be
Okay.
around ten
Because the
forty-nine,
assessment levy,
and then
you want it,
what's
you
the other
gotta
thing you have
balance.
to?
I know, I understand.
your expenses,
No
and
question
then
about
you've
it.
gotta figure out what the 4% is and all that.
The 4% has to be factored in, and I think that a flat $10 will do it and compensate for that too, and have a few pennies left over.
I was pretty good.
The 4%
It's pretty darn good.
I think that a flat $10 will do it.
7, 12, 14.
I've got total revenues of about $423,096. Add 4% of that, you wanna do that real quick?
What is it?
4% of 423,
423,
96,
096.
and that would be,
0.4%?
yeah.
I know what 3% is off the top of my head.
Yeah,
But
4%.
4 is $16,923.84.
923?
923,
Okay.
84. So
That'd
round
be-
up to
yeah,
924.
So that's 960. 402,069 I get. Would be total revenue after the 4%.
If you take 423,096 and you subtract the 16,924 from it, you get 406,172. And we're trying to get to 406,453.
I'm not quite sure what you guys are trying to do over here.
Compensate for the 4%. We have to assume the 4% is getting deducted. It never all gets deducted, because not everybody pays by the end of November, but a lot of it does. So the calculation is to assume that everybody's getting the 4% deduction, and then if they don't, it just comes back to us.
So what we do is we tell everybody that taxes are due in March.
The thing that comes from the calendar.
It goes out early in November, or late October, and it has to be,
By the end of
if
November.
you pay by the end of November, you get the 4%.
Yeah,
each
so
month
taxes
that
are due
goes
in
out.
March.
In March, there you go.
That comes from-
Except May 1st, if you're not paid up, they're selling your house on the certificate.
Nah, we got 3 years of that.
No, they actually are, it's amazing how efficient the Florida system does work. They are selling that tax certificate in May. And someone
But
can
you have
buy,
to be-
you
but-
can pay them back.
But you have to be behind for 3 years.
No,
It's not the first year, I don't think.
yeah, it is.
Is it the first year?
First year. It takes a total of 3 years
You know
before
what?
it's permanent.
You know, I take it back, yes.
Yeah, and you know, and you're gonna owe them the money plus 9%.
Because my house in the Cape, they said I didn't pay,
Yeah.
and they wanted me to pay the investor.
And
what he made.
ultimately, if you don't pay it back, they got your house for taxes. You're gone, see it. And I think that's about a 3-year period. We were in that situation, it was 2 years, with the property that Lennar didn't turn over to us. We had to take action rather quickly. All right, so, are you, doing the last few pennies over here,
I
Margaret?
am, I'm almost there. I'm narrowing it down.
Taxes once, I went down and they said, no, everything's already paid it, so I cut the receipt and cut the thing and.
Nearly finished.
While she's doing that, why don't you get the minutes approved?
We already did.
No, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't?
No, we didn't. 'cause
No,
we
you
have
didn't.
them. He's right. Good call there, Dick. All right, and everybody wanna take a moment to look at the minutes,
I did already.
and did you see anything you had a problem
No.
with?
No,
They're a little thin here as I look at it.
yeah.
Looks like we did nothing. Nothing
I
to do.
wasn't here, so I can't say anything.
Everybody wanna take a moment to look at the minutes?
I did already.
And did you see anything you had a problem with? They're a little thin here as I look at it. Looks like we did nothing.
I wasn't here.
All right, yeah, I'll take a motion for the minutes.
Move to accept.
No, you gotta make a motion.
Yeah, move to accept the minutes.
Oh.
That's what she said, I know. I'm gonna repeat it. Virginia Stacy made a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Do I have a second?
JT Thomas was second.
I think you heard that. JT Thomas seconds. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Motion to adjourn. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
No, we can't do that
No,
yet.
no, we're not
Well,
done
you
yet.
looked at me.
No, I looked at you, I didn't hear an aye over there to approve the
Oh,
minutes.
I can't.
I know, you're okay. All right, minutes are approved as presented. All right, so that's a done deal. Yeah, this is pretty thin as far as.
Next meeting is June 7th.
Yep, well, we're not adjourning yet, but no problem, I'll discuss that right now.
Special assessment levy, the total will be $423,390. The tax collection property appraiser's discount will be $16,936, which brings you to the $406,454, which balances to the
406, 454? 406, 454. Yeah.
What's that mean?
And what is the two added together? 423, what was that again?
423,390.
390.
With a discount of $16,936, which
Yep.
is 4%.
Now, what does that work out to in, per door?
1049. We went through that, didn't we?
No, this is specifically for us.
777 or
778.
Yeah, 778 we're using.
I came to,
522.44.
no, .43.
Yeah, you gotta move up, that's right. Partials are automatically go
What's
up.
that for?
778.
All right, so that's gonna be per door.
How much?
522.44, plus whatever the 001 budget is requires. I need a motion to approve this proposed budget.
I will make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Virginia Stacy seconds the motion to approve the budget as determined and projected here. And do we have any further discussion on this budget? I need a motion to approve this proposed budget. All in favor?
Aye.
Budget is approved and passes to be presented to the Board of Supervisors again.
Who made that motion? Yes, but I don't think the computer, I don't think the monitor heard or knows.
Oh,
For the minutes.
I'm sorry. Just to confirm that, the original motion to approve the budget was made by Dick Zukowski. And the second was made by Stacy, no, geez, Virginia Stacy. In any case, if there's any question. I'm ready for another motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to
You
adjourn.
missed the vote.
That was made by JT Thomas.
All in favor? We're
Aye.
done. Oh, one more thing, the next meeting is on,
June 7th.
June. Okay. If there's an issue, let us know. Diane will communicate to Diane and we can take it down.
It says June 7th by
Okay.
now.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Do we have any audience? We already done past that already.
We're past that, but if you have any audience questions at this point in time, post-meeting, you want to press your buttons?
What?
Let us know. Diane will
Right now we're at
communicate to Diane.
972.
It says June 7th.
No, no, no.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Do we have any audience? Dude, that's what we're at though, right? I know the 972.
We have the audience questions.
It's in my head all the time.
You wanna press your buttons?
You know, people always ask. 972. I should say 973. Taken care of now.
Glad you're behaving something.
Well, there may be some tinkering on this after Stephen gets his paws on it.
That's, yeah, as long as there's nothing shocking. What are you looking at, you might expect that.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm not expecting it to be shocking.
I don't think it's unreasonable to do. We increased, we collected some increased costs. Didn't duck out too much on things.
I'm sorry, I thought the meeting started at
I know.
3:30. I do apologize to you.
Fortunately, we've done this so many times before, it's pretty much rote, you know, just make a model. It's not,
Unless you got.
would you
some
like your budget
project.
project to be as easy